You're now listening to the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast. Straightforward, no nonsense business advice. Completely unfiltered. Grow your business. Grow your life. Now, here's your host, Brian Fullerton.
We're excited to kick off the Summer Lawn Tourpreneur Series and highlight some of the up-and-comers in the lawn and landscaping industry. Brian is interviewing lawntrepreneurs across the country, seeing how they're making money. Listen in as they share how they've set themselves up for success in order to grow a profitable business. And a big thank you to our sponsors, Echo, Equip, and Stable, for partnering with us on the tour and for helping bring you these incredible interviews. You can also see behind the scenes of the tour and get a walkthrough of each guest's business and equipment setup on the Brian's Lawn Maintenance YouTube channel. Now, here's your host, Brian Fullerton.
All right, guys, we are going to jump right on into it today. We've got another great guest here for you guys on the Lawntrepreneur Series. We got none other than Asher and then Bewersdorf, right?
Yep, that's right.
I got it right.
You got it right.
There you go. My buddy's last name is Kasdorf, so I was able to hopefully kind of lock that down. Is that German?
German, yep.
There you go, man. Awesome. Well, guys, we have had a super fun evening here. I've been getting to know Asher a little bit more in person, and then his family. Amazing setup here. We're actually in his backyard, his parents' backyard, with a beautiful pool and patio, and just a first-class outdoor kind of living space over here. So tell me a little bit about yourself, Asher. We've been doing this Lawntrepreneur Series. Again, shout out to Echo, Stable, and Equip. But give me, like the 2-minute highlight here, and then we'll unpackage some things. But give me the 2-minute kind of highlight about who you are, where you're from, and then maybe your background for a little bit.
So my name is Asher Bewersdorf. I'm from Northville, Michigan. I own a Garden Guy Outdoor Services, and we're a full-service landscape company.
Cool. And then have you always been doing landscaping or hardscaping, or how did you start?
So I started up about 7 years ago, just cutting grass, 21-inch mower going around my neighborhood, knocking on doors, offering to trim bushes for $25 for the whole house with my Echo trimmers, I got from Home Depot.
Sure.
Just from there on out, just grew the business and kept mowing. And then about 2 years ago, sold the mowing aspect of the business, the accounts, the equipment, the trailer, and just started growing into landscape, machines, that kind of stuff.
And how old are you now?
17.
17. And so how old were you, say, when you got started?
About 9 or 10.
Okay, so you've been doing this for 7, 8, 9 years now. Wow, isn't that awesome?
I love it.
Time flies, man.
Oh, it does.
So we're going to talk about your business setup. We're going to talk about your equipment setup. I'd love to hear a little bit more, like you were just alluding to, about the transition from mowing and maintenance, which a lot of the young guys, of course, get into first. That's what a lot of people get into first. And then hear a little bit more about how you got into the hardscaping and landscaping. Because I think a lot of guys want to transition to that, and they're nervous, or there's maybe some different things they don't know, like how to get into that with equipment, because the equipment starts adding up, right?
Oh, for sure.
So you've been able to acquire quite a bit at such a young age. So let's do this really quick. We're going to take a quick commercial break. We're going to hear from today's show sponsors announcements, and then we're going to hear a little bit more with Asher.
Test before you invest in the latest mowers, blowers, chainsaws, battery equipment, and UTVs. Join us at Equip Exposition in Louisville, Kentucky this October.
Hey guys, it's Brian, and I got to tell you what, I just got done talking to the folks at Equip Expo, and they cannot wait to see you guys down in Louisville, Kentucky later this fall, October 18th to the 21st for Equip Expo. The Equip team wants to let everyone know to achieve their next breakthrough with the right mix of help and hard work. Equip Expo, formerly the GI Plus Expo, will feature 7 educational tracks and 25 plus classes, such as topics in sales and profitability, technology, hardscaping, and their newly added pool and spa track. Plus, yours truly will be hosting an event on Thursday afternoon called Energize with Mike Andes, Blake Albertson, and Paul Jameson. If you guys want to join us at Equip, consider using our discount code to register for the show, where you can save 50% off with promo code Brian.
Register before the early sign-up discount ends by visiting equipexposition.com. Lawntrepreneurs, you know the success of your business depends on your lawn care equipment. If it's not working, neither are you. Keep your mowers, blowers, and all of your other outdoor power equipment running smoothly on the power of the American-made Stable brand. Stable makes premium additives and performance chemicals that help you get the best out of your equipment so that you can return quality work to your growing list of customers. Products like 360 Protection will clean your mower's fuel system with one treatment, and Fast Fix will correct rough-running engines when you're in a pinch. The entire product line undergoes thorough testing, and they are backed by OEMs because they work together to develop industry-leading solutions. Head to stable.com, STA-BIL.com, and use the code BRYANS20 to get 20% off and free shipping for your next order. Because at Stable, there's no off-season. Not as long as there's money to be made in the lawn care game.
All right, guys, we're going to jump right back into it here. And again, appreciate Equip, Stable, and Echo for sponsoring the Teenager Lawntrepreneur Series. Well, lawn care, guys, I mean, you're doing hardscaping and landscaping. So you're not really a lawntrepreneur anymore. You're like a hardscaperpreneur?
Yep.
Is that a word yet? I don't know.
We'll make it one.
Somebody go register the domain, you'll get rich, all right? So I don't know who's buying it. Maybe Caleb Allman, right? Okay, so take me back to the beginning, because you were... we did your shop tour. We did your equipment tour. It was a lot of fun. But you were also cutting up with me, and your mom was actually like just adding in some different blanks about when you got started when you were little, because you were trying to mow grass like at 7, 8, 9 years old, and people are like jacking your yard signs. What was that like? How did you get started with all that?
I first started off actually power washing.
Okay.
So I could save up money to get a mower.
Okay.
I was putting signs around the neighborhood at the end of the curb by our driveway. I put a sign in a bucket of cement, put it at the front of our neighborhood. People kept stealing them, bringing them back to us. It was just a whole mess. It was kind of becoming a game.
They would steal your signs.
Take the signs.
And you're like a 7, 8, 10-year-old dude.
Yeah, right out of the ground, or they take the whole concrete bucket.
They took the bucket?
Took the whole bucket, yeah.
What?
Sign was cemented in.
Jeez, oh, Pete. And so what was your thoughts then? You're like, this is ridiculous?
I'm like, this is crazy. This is crazy.
And you just want to mow grass? And
I just wanted to cut grass and power wash.
Do you think it was like the area? Was it just like some pesky Karen? Was it like an HOA thing?
It was an HOA thing.
Okay. So like that's an unimproved sign.
Yep.
Right. That's why Liz and I bought land, because we don't want to deal with the HOA stuff. That wasn't here though, right?
It was about a mile from here.
Oh, okay. So, but this is a whole different house for you guys.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. I was like, I'm just going a couple people down this lane. You might know the neighbor if it was down here.
No HOA here.
Yeah, no, thank God, right? So tell me about how you continued to grow the business, and maybe even like what got you interested in lawn care, landscaping, and power washing, because you're 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 years old. Most guys, they're not really doing anything like that. They're playing video games, they're doing whatever. So what got you outdoors? What got you making money?
I was just always like lived life outdoors. I was always good friends with my neighbors, and we had woods in our backyard, so we'd make trails and go down by the river. And I mean, I was always outside. Yep. And the neighbors were just offering me, hey, $20, come, help me pull my weeds. Like, I never even solicited the service.
Okay.
They came to me.
But did they know like you were outdoorsy, like rambunctious, wanted to make some money, just a young hustler?
They knew I was always like hands-on. I'd be like in our garage, spray painting a go-kart, or changing a bicycle tire. I mean, just something like that.
That's cool. And then, so you decided to grab a mower, or was your parents' mower, or what?
No. So I got a power washer first.
Oh, that's right. Was it Ryobi?
Yeah, Ryobi electric power washer.
Electric one?
Yep. I'd wheel it around the neighborhood. I'd have the extension cord wrapped around my neck.
Okay.
Crossbody.
Yep.
I just go power wash.
Did you use the homeowner's water, obviously? And
yep.
That's awesome. So you didn't like have these tanks or a car?
No, nothing special. Nothing special.
Dude, that's awesome.
You'd run out of extension cord, get water in the circuit.
Yep.
I mean, like my first power washing job was every week. Trash day was on Thursday. So every Thursday evening, I go power wash trash cans.
Is that right?
Yeah.
How much did you make for those?
$5 a can.
Heck yeah, dude. Dude, you can come power wash mine right now. I'd probably a different pay grade for you now. I probably can't afford you now, but our trash cans are grody. You ever see like those sanitation businesses now that come through with like
they flip them up and they power wash them.
Isn't that sweet?
Yeah.
I told Liz, I'm like, ours is completely toast. It's been a year and a half.
I saw one in Novi last week. For the first time. Yeah.
Grab his number next time, man. See if he'll come over and do 2 cans for me, because mine. We've been using the Traeger now, and like the smoker.
Oh yeah, all the grease and just the smell. And I'm like, this thing needs to get cleaned out. And it was messy even before that, because whatever, animals and all that stupid stuff. But okay, so you're power washing. You're starting to mow a couple lawns, and then. What would you say would be like the fork in the road for landscaping and hardscaping? Was it something you always wanted to get into? Did mowing just kind of bore you over time? No right or wrong answer. Well, mowing just got very redundant.
Okay.
Same properties every week.
Yep.
You know the property too well. You're like, all right, got to do the stripes this way. Grass is dead this week, skip it.
Yep.
I never intentionally got into hardscaping. I kind of got sucked into it, and I'm very happy for that because I love it. The first hardscape, I mean, it's not really hardscape, but the first job I did, I power washed the patio, and then it needed new sand in the joints.
Yep.
So I redid the poly sand. Then a couple other neighbors were like, I have some sunken pavers. Can you raise them up, re-level them? Like, I can get it done.
Yeah.
From
And you
there,
were 14, 15 at the time?
probably, right about that age.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Maybe a little bit younger.
Okay.
And I didn't really get into true hardscape until I was able to drive. I mean,
Sure.
because the amount of materials you need, the amount of dirt you have to take to the dump, machines, pallets of brick, it's not something you can do being a neighborhood lawn kid.
Okay. That makes sense. So like dump trailers, dump trucks.
You need machines if you don't have the machines, you have to rent something. I mean, it's not something you can do by hand.
That makes a lot of sense. So you basically were mowing to get seed money, and then you knew that you wanted to transition to hardscaping and landscaping.
I knew I wanted to get more towards landscaping.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. So where do you take inspiration from now? Like, what's the kind of stuff that you want to get into? Like, your parents have a beautiful backyard patio here. Is this the kind of stuff you want to get into long term, or what do you want? Where do you see the garden guy going over the next 5-10 years?
I see it doing like full outdoor spaces.
Cool.
As well as a lot of site work, grading, excavating.
Yeah.
Maybe even silt fence. I mean, just full site services for new builds.
That's awesome. I before we hit start on the podcast, I was saying the same thing with you because I love mowing, but I've been doing it for 2 decades. It's fun. It's cool. We got a decent little rig with a decent little route, and I'm happy with it. It's just a little income for us, and I'm happy with it. But I said where I'm moving is more rural. People all the time are building pole barns and pads and pools and grading and finish, like you said, new construction home building. My builder, I'm like, hey, you're doing the grading work after, right? And he's like, yeah, that's part of the contract and all this other mess. But that's huge. And that's something that you get tractors and skid steers and more different type of equipment.
It's all machine work.
100%. That's something that I think would be way more fun and exciting for me to, branch off into than to, like you said, add another 100, 200 mowing accounts. Not that there's not some decent money there, but I don't know. I've been doing this for 2 decades, and I'm like, well, if I want to stay excited about the industry, even I have to change it up. Yeah. Right, like you were saying. So that's interesting, man. That's really cool. Tell me about the name Garden Guy Outdoor.
So I started, my first name was, I didn't even have a name.
Okay.
The sign had an email.
The ones that got stolen?
Yep. Yeah, a huge email. It was powerwashing101@yahoo.com.
Power washing one. Is this still active?
I haven't been in it.
It's not like
years.
It's not your AOL screen name, is it?
No.
Or MySpace,
Yeah. No, I haven't been in that in years. And then I'm not sure how I got to the name. But I just started thinking Garden Guy Outdoor Services.
Yeah.
It used to be Garden Guy Lawn and Landscape.
Okay. So now outdoor service is like branched off, more landscape, more design work.
Yep, and that's the LLC now.
Good for you, man. Actually, yeah. Can you talk to? That was really an interesting thought because I got to meet your dad, Ryan. Amazing dude as well, and he was talking to me about how you set up the company. What's some helpful tips for guys that are just getting started? Because with contracts and LLCs, I'm 2 decades older than you. I have no idea. Back in the day, I was doing it cash money, right?
Yeah.
So what did you do the last couple of years to? Are you legit? Did you go more legit? How did you get insurance? Because I think that's a question a lot of people are going to have, kids and parents that are listening to the show.
So I was very hesitant to go fully legal.
Okay.
Because, taxes, you have to hire an accountant.
Oh, yeah.
All kinds of things. Just a whole different,
overhead structure.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
But what I did was I decided, it's time for an LLC. I'm going around town. I'm doing jobs that are more than mowing. Even mulch stuff can go wrong. And I'm also hiring people too.
Sure.
It's definitely not a safe industry.
Okay.
A heavy equipment. So I'm like, we got to get this going the right way, especially to get into commercial work, bigger contracts. Like nobody's going to want to hire an uninsured contractor for a $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 job.
Sure.
It's just a liability for you and the homeowner.
Right. Mowing maybe, right? Because it's $40.
Yeah.
$60. And if you roll your ankle,
they'll take a good deal over, you know.
Yeah. But if you're doing a $10,000, $20,000 patio or landscape job, people are going to want some guarantees.
Exactly.
Okay, cool. So did you register the LLC last year or this year?
Got the LLC 2 years ago.
Okay.
And with the LLC, I had to get insurance. I was going to be hiring workers. I was getting into bigger equipment. I got my first piece of heavy equipment. Tractor.
Yeah.
Tractor, front loader.
Yeah.
And what if that thing rolls or someone gets hurt on it? There's just a lot that can go wrong.
Sure.
Bigger equipment, bigger responsibility.
And so you were help me out with maybe some thought process for some of the younger guys trying to get insured because you were getting roadblock after roadblock. Did you just find a company that believed in you, would take a risk on you or a chance on you, or what? How did you navigate all that?
I actually went through a broker.
Okay.
Insurance broker, and they found me a very good, very fair insurance company in Southfield, actually.
Okay.
Southfield, Michigan.
So you were coming up with you were telling me off the record, like you were getting quotes 5x what it should have been.
All the big companies, Geico, State Farm, those people, it was absolutely crazy.
Really?
Because not only are you young, you have heavy equipment, you have trucks that are on the road, and those trucks are commercial vehicles in their eyes, trailers, you're pulling company equipment, company assets. So it gets very expensive.
So they're just thinking risk. And you're like, hey, like, and rightfully so. I can't blame them. But at the same point, you're like, hey, I'm not paying 15 grand, 20 grand to insure my company.
And they ask you, they're like, are you going to be excavating more than 2 feet down? If so, that's an additional fee. Are you going to be snow plowing? Do you have a plow hitch on your truck? I mean, those kinds of questions.
Oh, they classify every little thing you do.
Everything.
Yep. Our insurance agent, and you want to be honest, because if you have an issue and you're not rated for that,
then they'll come after you.
Oh, they'll come after you. The customer will come after you. You'll get denied. All this stuff. It's not people are like, oh man, I was like able to like pass one off with my insurance agent. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, you're probably not. That's probably not the best way to approach it.
I mean, that's like the one thing you really got to be really honest on.
Yeah. I mean, I'll give you guys a really quick personal example. Some of you guys have heard this story before. My red truck Thunder, it got insured through State Farm, is who I actually have. Small World, you brought them up. So it got insured, and on the registration, long story short, it was registered as an XL. And I said, oh, sweet, like whatever my rate was for the year. And I said, oh, like to Liz, I'm like, oh, dude, they rated it as an XL. It's a Lariat, so the premium probably could have been 10, 20% more, right?
Yep.
And so I'm like, oh, we passed one over on them. Like we saved a couple $100, whatever, right? And I remember like 2 days later thinking, I'm like, maybe if they're thinking this thing is 30, 40,000, then I'm only going to get, if I get totaled and somebody T-bones me, then I'm only going to get a $40,000 payout. I'm like, this truck is 60 grand. So I called them back up. Long story short, I was like, hey, there might have been a mistake, the whole deal. And they said, long story short, there was no mistake. It doesn't matter. Any Super Duty, it's still an XL trim to them. So I was like, oh, okay, well, that actually works out. But dude, like you said, if you what would you say? Like, don't play fair and then something happens, like don't complain to us later when you get denied.
And I mean, like every year they're going to come and audit you. They're going to do the, hey, are you still cutting grass? No, I mean, what's your biggest project this year?
Yep. What's your workers' comp, payroll and all that? Oh, the self-audits are amazing. I get those all the time.
Lots of questions on workers' comp.
Dude, and I will be honest, like, being vague is helpful too. It's okay. Like, ride the line.
No, we don't use ladders.
Well, dude, like ladders and snow and salt. Do you guys use dude? All kinds of questions. Like, do you guys use ladders? I'm like, what's your definition of a ladder?
Maybe once all year.
But I don't even know if I would say that. But but that's basically the question, right?
Yeah.
They're like, do you guys use hedge trimmers? I'm like, what's the definition of a hedge trimmer? So, and the lady's like, no. Okay. I'm like, yeah, I don't know if we do, but I'm not. You guys know the whole funny story. Ride the line, okay? But think worst case scenario and just make sure you don't get bit. I want to talk about equipment for a minute because we did the YouTube video. So the guys listening in, maybe later tonight, go check out Brian's All Maintenance YouTube channel. Check out the site tour that we did and the whole equipment setup. We had a good 20, 25-minute video there. Give me the, if you don't mind, like the evolution. So you went from the Ryobi power washer.
Yep.
Then you went to the 21-inch Honda?
I went through Toro.
I
went through a lot of mowers.
Okay.
A lot of mowers and a lot of issues.
20s and 21s and 30s?
Yeah, I went through the 21, then got a 30-inch Time Master.
Okay.
Then got a really good deal on a used Metro.
Okay.
From Weingarts.
Like a 30, 36, 32, whatever?
I believe 48.
Oh, 48.
48 fixed deck.
Okay.
Scalped a couple areas. But
my Viking did the same.
It's a part of it.
It was part of it, brother.
Got that. First day I got it.
Okay.
One of the cylinders went out on it.
Oh, wow.
Weingarts had to do a lot of engine work to it.
Okay.
From there, one of my clients was so impressed with my services. He goes, "You've been doing my lawn for a year or two now. I feel confident I don't need my zero turn anymore."
Okay.
It was a Toro Time Cutter 42.
Okay.
Got that.
Like the residential one, like from Home Depot and stuff? Okay.
Exactly. A Home Depot, like a $3,000 model.
Yeah.
I was using that thing, pretty much every day.
Okay.
And
how many accounts were you mowing at that time with that thing? Like 10, 12?
I would say, probably right around there.
Okay.
Maybe about 15 in my neighbor, I think was my max.
Cool.
just in my neighborhood. Blew a hydro on that. Literally blew a hydro. Hydro oil went all the way down from my account back to my house. Kind of drive it around my neighborhood.
Yeah.
Then I'm like, well, the Metro's good, but belt slip when it's wet out. Don't have reverse. So then I went up to Weingart's. And I'm like, hey, I need a mower.
Yep.
What do you have? Because I wanted to get this today.
Okay.
I had to go rent the Home Depot trailer, get it home. All they had was Radius E-Series. And I go, okay, what's deck sizes? Okay, 44. Well, I guess that's what I'm having.
There you go.
Very reliable mower.
Okay.
I was really happy with that.
Okay.
Eventually got the Ultravac for it.
Oh, cool.
I mean, it's basically just the laser, just not as advanced.
Yeah.
I mean,
and then that was, 2 years ago?
that was about maybe 3
years ago now.
3 years ago.
Okay.
Maybe 4.
And
used that for a season. Used it the beginning of the season after.
Okay.
And that's when I did about a month or 2 of mowing. And then that's when I was like, okay, mowing's been good to me. I can't complain because it started my business.
Sure.
But it's time to move on.
Okay. And then, so the mowers, do you still have them, or did you sell all that off to seed money, the rest of the equipment that you have now?
The mowers are gone except just the walk behinds.
Okay.
I have the walk behinds.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
So tell me we for the equipment setup, if you want to maybe do like an inventory, but you have the tractor. Go ahead. The dump trailer.
Well, I have the Yanmar tractor.
Okay.
It's a 2021, I believe.
Do you know like the SKU of the model? Because people always ask me.
SA324.
Okay.
SA324
is it like 24 horsepower or something rated?
Yeah, I believe 23 or 24 horsepower.
Okay.
Yep.
Cool. Dump trailer.
Very nice tractor. Yep. Dump trailer. Kelly and Sons Sure Track.
Cool.
Best dealer around. Honestly, easiest buying experience ever.
Sue and Tim. They're the best.
Yep.
They're like the most kindest, nicest, like humblest, simplest people.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And they love you guys. They come to the Entrepreneur Academy. They love everybody that comes there.
Oh yeah.
They're like, your people are so nice. I'm like, well, you guys are so nice too. It's like salt of the earth people, right?
Yep.
There you go.
Yeah, I remember Sue. She brought the paperwork out.
Yep.
Signed for it. And she goes, all right. Hope it makes you a lot of money.
She gets so excited.
She loves it.
She's like even me and you, like she's like, we're all her kids, you know what I mean? Like she just gets so excited for us, and she's like, go get them, guys.
And that dump trailer took a good month or 2 to come in. I got it with the thicker floor.
Okay.
I mean,
heck, dude, I mean, knock on wood though. Like nowadays, I mean, it's taken 9 to 12 months to get a trailer.
Oh yeah.
Which is ridiculous. Still, you know what I mean? And, and a good dump trailer, 14K rated, 7 by 14 or whatever.
Good 16K.
Dude, yeah, they're 15, 20 grand. I'm like, are you kidding me? And then people in Canada, they text me all the time. Hey man, you got to hook up. I'm like, no, why? Like this thing's like 25 grand Canadian. And I'm like, well, you shouldn't, I don't know what to tell you. No comment. I don't know. I love my Canucks, but I'm like, at the same point, what do you want me to do? So that's one of the. Everybody asks me if I got a hookup. Hey man, you hook me up. I'm like, yeah. It's go to your dealer and support them because that's what I do. I don't have a hookup. I wish. I do a lot of work for these people. I don't get anything like that. Yeah. If there's a Brian's 10 code for trailers, I'd probably already have my home.
Is there a
now.
Brian's 10 code at Cat and Bobcat?
No, not yet.
Okay,
we need to get that hooked up.
We got to get on that.
Is that what you're looking at? I bought. What's that? Bobcat 259. What are you looking at for Bobcat?
Bobcat, I have the E10 excavator.
Oh yeah.
From Bobcat.
Okay.
One day I'll get like either like a Bobcat T like
262.
Yeah, one of the big ones.
There
or maybe a Cat like 299.
Okay.
We got Michigan Cat right up in Novi Road.
Is that a dealer too?
That is the dealer network for our area.
Really? Okay. Yeah, because Cat's in our backyard.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I drive by there. I live on. Well, I'm not saying where, but I live on Novi Road, and dude, like. Some people already know where I live on my address, but like, dude, I say one thing and like 10,000 people like come by, and I'm like, please don't visit my house.
Well, you've been driving by that huge loader that I've had there for a couple of weeks.
That one up front?
Oh, massive.
What is that?
It's a mine loader. I mean, the tires are probably 10 feet tall.
It's insane. Well, okay,
Crazy.
So that Penn Station on Novi and 10, it's like my hot spot. That's where you get this awesome 6-pack from. I'm a sucker for the French fries, bro. But that Cat dealer is like that's like 2 minutes down the road from us.
Yeah, so I actually got a quote when I was looking at excavators. I wanted a 301.7 excavator, and
that's the one with the boom thing, right?
Yeah, it's essentially the same size as my E10.
Okay,
a little bit bigger, and it has a full enclosure.
Oh, okay. 50 grand, 60 grand, 40 grand?
No, they wanted about 43 out the door.
Okay.
No buckets though.
Oh.
No buckets.
So tell me more. This is all new territory to me. I'm learning.
So
yeah.
you buy the heavy equipment. You're not buying the forks, the bucket. That's all extra.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, even for my tractor, forks for an extra $2,500.
Is that ridiculous?
Just for forks. Crazy.
Yeah. Dylan Stevenson with Solo Cuts bought that dingo.
Yep.
I think Christian just bought one. He's going to be on the show next. Yeah, every attachment.
They're a good $45,000. Those dingoes alone, attachments are crazy.
That's ridiculous. Yeah, and you need them. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Wow. So you're going to get a mini X and then a skid?
Well, I have a mini X. Skid will be down the pipeline maybe in a year.
Okay.
Just something bigger for clearing, excavating, that kind of work.
So let me ask you this, and I want to address this on like every video and every podcast. Is the whole like, how do you pay for everything, right? Because I get that question. I'm noticing it's a lot less lately, which is actually really dope. Like man, I'm telling you guys, like the social media world is wild, and not you guys listening in, but the people that don't know what we all do, the outside crowd. So you'll get other kids, 16, 18, 20-year-old kids saying, nice stuff that mommy and daddy bought, right?
Yep.
We've all heard it. You've heard it. I've heard it. I get it at 35, and I'm like, dude, what are you talking about? I'm seeing a lot less than that because I don't know. Every time I do another video and another podcast with some of you guys are just dispelling the myth that every 15-year-old's just wasting time on TikTok, right? There's a whole nother army of you guys that are raising up.
Don't get me wrong, there's still a lot of those people.
Oh, yeah, dude. Well, 100%. Those are the people that are criticizing you, and you're building something.
That's exactly true.
It's ridiculous.
And people that aren't doing anything, they have an issue that you are doing something.
Talk about that for a minute, would you?
So I'm still in school, and there's a lot of people that don't like knowing that you have a business. You have, essentially a steady income, and that
payroll people.
You're building an empire. They don't like that.
Yeah. Did you get opinion from classmates or parents and
teachers,
peers?
classmates, everybody? Everybody has an opinion.
It's always funny, like how people doing nothing have such a strong opinion. Like literally, they're accomplishing nothing, building nothing.
Yep.
But they're the ones that are the loudest on social.
That's very true.
You know what I mean? And
even I'll post. I think I posted a picture on Instagram a couple months ago, something about snow.
Right.
Oh, I was demoing a Toro multi-force.
Okay.
With the boss plow on it.
Okay.
And there is some trolls on there. You don't need that, or something along the lines of that, or who's buying that, something like that.
Right. Well,
those are the kind of people you don't need to surround yourself with.
Well, and not only that, but I'll say like and I've got this from somebody else, but you can be right or you can be rich. And Liz is like, well, I want to be both. And I'm like, okay, but you get to pick one. Like you can defend your ego and your honor all day long, or you can just go win. And I get same thing with people, Asher. It's like I bought a new truck and people are like, nice truck that YouTube bought. I'm like, okay, first off, even if it did, think about what you just said.
Worked for it.
Yeah, I still worked for it. Like, even if I did, okay, I had to build something that created an asset to at least buy the damn truck.
Yeah.
Right? Now, it's all through the business, the lawn care business. But that being said, even if it was from YouTube, like if I buy a Polaris slingshot or I don't know, whatever. I mean, the same people that criticize me for having a side hustle are the same people that were returning their cans at Meijer.
Yeah.
So what? Exactly. Like, don't give me that kind of garbage. Like, you're the one flipping, Jordans and stuff on Facebook Marketplace, and taking back your beer bottles. Like, don't criticize me that my side hustle is just a little bit more profitable than yours.
And then you have the other class of people that complain about, just who you are in general.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I don't cut grass anymore, but I still get, oh, well, you cut grass. I mean, come on, like you cut grass, like. Okay, well, what's wrong with cutting grass? Honestly, you don't even have a job.
Yeah.
You don't even have a job, and you're complaining about me cutting grass.
Right. And it's like, dude, it's so wild. Actually, if you don't mind, and this might be a little bit of a transition, but same topic. Your parents have they've done very well for themselves. They're very traditional with education and careers, and lately branched out with business and entrepreneurship a little bit. It sounds like. What was their thought process raising you like this last decade, and your what would I say, like investment or interest, right? Like you're like, hey, I don't. You might go to college here. It sounds like you're going to go to college, which is cool. But you're not like, hey, I want to be a doctor or a lawyer or whatever, right? You're like, I want to dig in the dirt and I want to make patios. And they're like, you want to do what?
I mean, that's pretty interesting you bring that up, because originally they embraced it. They were like, yeah, I mean, this is great. Like, at least you have a work ethic.
Okay.
You're actually getting out, you're doing something. And I mean, yeah, it's still when I was just the neighborhood lawn kid.
Right.
I mean, really, I was just that. Pulling weeds, power washing. Hey, I can do your mulch, but oh yeah, you have to order it from Angelo's.
Sure.
And then it got to a point where I started to grow.
Mm-hmm.
I got my first like mowing trailer, you know, high side. I think it was 7x14.
Okay.
You know, I had the mowers on there, and then it got to become like, you're leaving at 6:30 in the morning on a Sunday. And you're not showing back up till 8, past dark essentially.
Sure.
And they're like, I mean, we gotta appreciate you're working.
Yeah.
We gotta appreciate that. But it's like, well, it's getting in the way of school, and then I started to really grow. I'm out of mowing. Actually, about 2 years ago, it was like, hey, you have other things to focus on in life. Why don't you just limit yourself to 2 days a week of work? I go, all right, well, some projects are more than that. But hey, it was always like, all right, maybe 3 days. It was just, it wasn't understood that this was what I want to do. Okay. This was thought more of as, oh yeah, you have a summer job, right, working for yourself. I mean, you're essentially just a laborer. Okay. That's how I was looked at. And then I start to grow, and it's like, okay, well, and even everybody around me that surrounds me was like, wow, okay, you just invested, tens of thousands of dollars in this piece of equipment. Yeah. Oh, wow, you just bought a shipping container. I mean, okay, I can see you're no longer walking around with a $300 push mower that everybody can get. Right. You're diversifying into services that it's not easy to get into just to open a business and be like, all right, I'm going to do this. It's something you got to work your way into.
Absolutely. I mean, the equipment, the knowledge, all that kind of stuff. Knowledge, yeah. So what was your parents' thought process? Like initially encourage you, then they're like, they didn't discourage you.
They didn't discourage me, but they were like, "This has become too much. This is getting out of hand."
You get all your equipment in their garage. One of those deals.
Yeah, and I had customers calling and texting me all hours of the day. I'm sure we all have the customer that has some need that text you 2 a.m. Okay. Hey, when you're out tomorrow, make sure you don't hit the landscape wire light when you're taking out the bushes, and just silly things like that. It's a full-time job just managing the CRM side of the business,
especially with lawn care, or not with lawn care, but with landscaping. You're like you said, that's something I absolutely respect. People are like, how do you have so much time for YouTube? I'm like, guys, I'm not doing landscaping. Like I get done mowing at 5:00. I turn my brain off with mowing. I mean, just customers that call and just basic upkeep to the business. Mm-hmm. But as long as the guys are happy, nobody's calling off, and just which is there's no perfect day, right? Exactly. If it's not equipment, it's weather. If it's not weather, it's guys. If it's not guys, it's equipment, mm-hmm. right? I always say it's like this trinity of like the boogeyman out there. It's like there's never a perfect day.
You have a nice week of jobs. Everybody showed up on time. And the next week, oh yeah, the truck has to go to Ford for a day. Yep. Oh, well, what are we gonna do today?
It's. I mean, tires are leaky or balding. Somebody's got to go. It's always something. Right?
Oh, the tractor has a hydraulic and that's leaking everywhere.
I mean, it's always something, and that's. Mm-hmm. I mean, you're married to the chaos. But it's not like I'm doing a. And I totally respect what so many of you guys do, like with landscaping and hardscaping and pet. I live vicariously through you guys. I know my limits. I know I'm not going to do it, but I love watching you guys do it. So you're talking about, if you're off with material or bricks or measurements, or you bid 200 square feet and it's 300 square feet and this and base and that.
Change order back and forth with the customer.
Right. I mean, so you're doing all this while you're in school. Mm-hmm. What's the, I don't know if it's work-life balance is the right thing for a 16-year-old, 17-year-old, but what's the school life balance? What's the work-life balance? How does that go with?
I mean, school. Yeah. From 8 to 3.
That's your deal.
That's it. That's it. Yep. Every day, just on the grind, trying to essentially build a dream. Sure. But in the summer, I mean, every day, and I have a really good group of guys that really knows what they're doing. To be honest, cool. I couldn't leave them. Hey, go build this whole patio, start to finish. Right. But if I walk them around in the morning, all right, we got to, excavate this. Sure. Get the screed bed in. I mean, all that geogrid. Okay, all right, we can get in.
That's cool.
Because essentially, when I first started actually doing landscaping, when I started to scale, and I was doing jobs outside my neighborhood, I was on the job, and I'm like, all right, well, we got to get this delivered because I'm not leaving. Sure. And I'm like, you can't grow if you are the guy on the job site every single day.
Right.
So I started to, teach people skills. I started to treat them more as like they had a stake in the business versus just a general laborer.
Okay.
This year was kind of like my first year where I was able to leave guys on the job site. And I basically drive all day.
Okay.
I look at projects, bid projects, go get something fixed on a truck or go work on one of the machines. I move the machines back and forth, go take some gravel to the job, take some fill dirt off, take it to the dump. I mean, I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
How many guys do you have working with you or for you? Or
I have about 3 right now.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
And then, well, let's do this, man. We're kind of we're at about 35 minutes here on the podcast. We'll kind of button it up right here. But where do you want to take things over the next? I would say like are you a junior or senior this year?
I'll be a senior.
So you're a senior this year. So 12 months from now, you're able to fly the coop. You're out of that chapter, that phase of your life, which is cool. So where do you want to take things maybe over the next, 3, 4, 5 years? I mean, you're going to college? So you're excited about that?
I'll be close though.
You'll be close?
I'm not going to leave the state.
Okay, cool. We're not gonna say where you're going to school, but you were telling me where, which is awesome. So where do you want to take things over the next 2, 5, 10 years? Can you really go all in if you're going to go to college too? You kind of got to
for sure. I'm not going to let anything.
Okay.
I mean,
okay.
The dream is going to build itself.
Yeah.
I'm just facilitating it.
Okay.
If it takes off, I'm not going to be like, oh yeah, all right. Well, I'm not going to do that job until next.
Yeah.
I mean, if it takes off, it takes off.
Okay.
And it kind of already has.
Where do you want to take things long term?
I want to become like a big site work contractor, grading, big grading projects, excavating,
cool
things of that nature. I also want to do some outdoor oases, backyard projects.
You ever see Lucas Lagoons? That guy?
Yeah,
that guy's ridiculous.
Animal Planet, crazy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, I watch him on Instagram and stuff. He's ridiculous.
Yeah,
that's awesome. And then, so you big site management company?
Yep, basically.
Cool. Mm-hmm. What's like the dream job? What's the ideal job that you like a customer of yours? Like, what do they want? Like,
I know right up here on 8 Mile and back area, they're putting in a new neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
Massive. I think Santi's doing the excavating there.
Okay.
They're clearing all the trees, probably at least 100 acres, grading it out. They got the big motor graders, doing the curbing, crazy. I would love to do something like that. They got the rock trucks, the loaders.
Yeah. Do you know JW Christmas by chance in Wixom, Milford over there?
Sounds familiar.
So the Wixom Ford plant area.
They're doing the demo there.
They're doing everything over there.
They have their own concrete plant. They're processing all the recycling.
Yeah, JW doesn't do that. That's I don't even know who does all the concrete work, but JW's got the landscaping and all that mess. And,
okay.
Yeah, people were telling me numbers. I know somebody who I actually know Jim. He was actually my first commercial account. I mowed their front area. It's like a little pole barn, and then they got some family and stuff that have some more land, and they got a nursery. Really, really cool dude. Anyway, dude is like million, that I just put my fingers up so you guys can't see, but that's how much the landscaping is over there with just the trees and the mulch and all the irrigation. And I'm like, I mean, they're building 4 or 5 huge commercial, what would you call them, like warehouse things, Yep. And I'm just thinking to myself, like, dude, that's one landscape job. That's one thing. And I'm like, what are we doing here? And I'm
that
like,
one job just bought you a couple trucks.
Dude, I mean, he looks like literally like Santa Claus. He's the nicest guy. I need to go do an interview with him, actually. I never even considered it. But he let me mow the front lawn once because I lived in the trailer park and I was able to ride my mower all the way down out front from their main headquarters. Yep. So that's kind of a small world. All right, well, cool deal, man. Well, I think we're good on time. I think we got to shut it down anyway because we're kind of losing daylight. But I really appreciate the time, and I'm really excited to have you on this tour because we've had a bunch of young guys. We've had Gabe Polteritis. He's 15. He's mowing, doing irrigation work. We've had 2 mow guys. We've had Jake's Quality Lawn Care, and they're doing some FERT work. We've had Ethan Hammond, we've had Henrik, and then I said, well, I want like a landscape guy, a hardscape guy, which is kind of hard to find.
It's hard to find.
15, 17, 18, but there's always a unicorn out there. Yep. So you're my guy for this. But where can people find you? Where can people keep up with you? Are you active on social? And if people have questions, can they reach out?
Yep. So Facebook and Instagram, it's Garden Guy Outdoor Services.
Okay.
And our website is www.gardenguyOutdoors.com.
Cool deal. And then you want to give a shout out to your mom because she's going to listen to this 20 times.
Oh, yeah, she is.
She's probably out there right now taking photos of us.
Oh, they supported it since the beginning.
There you go. So shout out to mom and dad.
They came with me when I went to Weingart's to get my first piece of equipment.
Did they?
Oh, they were talking to everybody there.
Gosh, that's awesome. And that's where I met you actually at the steak fry, the open house. Was that 3 years ago? 4 years ago?
I think so.
Something like that.
It's been a while.
It's crazy how time flies. Like, there's so many kids I've met. You guys are 12, 13, and then 4 years later, you're Asher over here doing a couple $100,000 with your dude. It's so ridiculous. Like, you guys inspire the snot out of me, man. So, anything? One thing I'd like to wrap up the podcast with: any parting thought or pearl of wisdom that is helpful for you to get you to where you're at today.
Like I said in our video, just know your worth.
Know your worth.
I mean, I know other landscapers on Instagram, Facebook that are young or they're just starting off, and they're like, customers said they'll give me $50 to pull the weeds. Well, you're there for 2 hours. Right. I mean, you really want to make $25 an hour? Right. You can go make that working at a restaurant or something. Like, know your worth. Right.
Don't let somebody talk you down. And they will do it all day to you young guys.
Yep.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Know your worth. I love it. All right, man. We'll button this up right here. Super appreciate the time. Thanks for giving me the whole grand tour. We'll definitely get some updates and stuff with you as we go. I'm really excited to see the next couple of years, especially once you get out of high school, you can really start calling your own shots.
Oh, it's gonna be crazy.
You're getting all excited about it. Like,
oh, I can't wait.
I'm excited for you.
The business is going to be unrecognizable.
Really?
Uh-huh.
All right. Well, do you mind if we continue to keep in touch with you and we'll get some updates?
Oh, for sure. Let's do it.
My man. All right, brother. Well, guys, we're going to button up right here with Asher. Super appreciate the time. Super appreciate his parents giving us the platform back here to the space to be able to podcast here. And guys, if you guys are motivated like I am, man, go out there and make it happen. Take risks. Go check out some new stuff. Learn some new things. Reach out to people like Asher, and that's what it's all about. So, guys, again, thank you to Equip, Stable, and Echo for being able to give us the opportunity to come visit all these young guys and bring you all this great content. If you guys wouldn't mind doing me a big favor, tag them on Instagram. Share the story. If you guys love this stuff, tag them on Instagram. Let them know that you appreciate them sponsoring the tour and their investment is quote-unquote paying off. I know they would love that and appreciate that. So, guys, we'll button up right here. Thanks again for listening to another episode of the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast, and we look forward to catching up with you guys here on the next one.
When pros are knee-deep in tough fall cleanups, they reach for the world's most powerful backpack blower. The Echo PB9010 is a workhorse made of wind. A 220-mile-per-hour sidearm that powers through piles of wet leaves with ease. So when the clock's ticking and winter's on its way, the PB9010 gives you the power to clear more job sites in less time. Because there's power, and then there's Echo power. Echo. Power on. And on.
Who says you can't have it all and even a little more? All month long, Brian is throwing in a free ticket to Launchpreneur Academy Live when you buy the whole ball of wax at launchpreneuracademy.com. Now, the whole ball of wax is all the training programs, documents, resources, postcard designs, and future content that will be made available at the website. If you've never been to launchpreneuracademy.com, stop the podcast. Check it out right now. The savings of buying it all in this one package is truly remarkable. Plus, you receive one free Launchpreneur Academy Live 2022 admission for the November 12th event in Novi, Michigan. This deal ends August 31st. And yes, tickets to the event can be purchased separately from the Whole Ball of Wax promotion.
Thanks for taking the time to listen to the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast with Brian Fullerton. We hope you enjoyed this production. If so, please consider leaving us a 5-star review for the show. While the techniques and ideas presented here are designed to help you grow a more successful and profitable business, no one can guarantee these results for you. We want to emphasize that entrepreneurship is not easy, and the ideas presented here are just the opinions of Brian Fullerton and his respective guests. No one can guarantee success for you. That being said, we hope the ideas presented here help you and motivate you to go on out there and crush it with your own business.
Fullerton Unfiltered Podcast.
Thanks for listening, and we hope to see you on the next episode.
This has been a Brian Fullerton and Mr. Producer production.